Hello, Sonder family. Welcome to our social. It is a good day for a good day. And we're going to dig into that good day to this evening together. It's so good to see you today. I'm watching the chat and I'm seeing some very familiar names. So welcome to those who have been with us for a long time. And welcome to any of you who may be joining us for the first time, or maybe this is one of your first socials to dig into your journal, maybe something, apart from the setup that you've done. So welcome, welcome. We're glad you're here. My name is Jennifer Ogilvie, and I'm coming to you from the Dallas, Texas area where we had an absolutely good day, perfection. It was, in the upper 70s and the sunshine finally came out, and it was a very good day. And I'm glad I get to share that with you and with the other facilitator on our call this evening, who is Malika, and she is going to pop on. She's giving you a wave. She will be monitoring the chat. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them there and she will point you in the right direction. Speaking of the chat, double check and make sure when you are sending any message that it says to everyone. If it says to host and panelist, that means that just Malika and myself are going to see what you're sharing. Hi, Angela. And we want to make sure that everybody can see what is being put in the chat tonight, because we are going to be digging in, getting our poets' hats on this evening, and just looking at what an ideal day would be. So double check that chat and make sure it's set to everyone. And we're here from everywhere. If you don't have your journal with you, that's okay. Grab a piece of paper. You don't have to have your journal to participate this evening. I know sometimes people will get ready to go and then it's like, oh, I left my journal on my desk. It's okay. You can have just a piece of paper to do that. So let's take a look at our agenda and all that good stuff for the night. And as you know, we're over a week into Passion now. We're figuring out kind of what that looks like in our life. I'm really enjoying looking at passion and the things that bring me joy and that feed my soul. So we're going to start off with a passion activity, and I'll just give you a little hint. We are going to be leaning into the poet inside of us. Since you did come to the one that we're going to be looking at the acrostic poem, we're going to dig into poetry for our passion activity as well. Then we're going to imagine that beautiful ideal day. We'll be working with that on page 15 of our journal. And then this is bonus content. This is not in your journal this month, but we are going to be looking at creating our own acrostic poems. And I actually have some ways for you to think about framing it to extend that poem out to more than just P is for, A is for, S is for, et cetera, et cetera. I've got some ideas for you to think about. So let's take a deep, deep breath or two together. Quiet your spirit, leave the day behind as we show ourselves a little self-love through our journal work tonight. So we're going to start off by creating our own haikus. And these are simple poems. And just to remind you that a haiku is 3 lines, and I actually did 2 sets here. The first line in each stanza will be 5 syllables. The second line is 7 syllables, and the third line is 5 syllables. So haikus are kind of simple to create. So you can turn to a notes page, use a scratch piece of paper or your scratch pad in your weekly setup. And I want you just to kind of stop for a second and think about what passion means to you. And I'm going to put on some music so that you can create your poem. I came up with this for passion: a strong emotion, igniting my inner spark, embracing my soul. Lovely days and nights, being true to who I am, losing track of time. So you can write as many stanzas as you'd like. I actually have a song entitled Haiku that I'll play while we work on our own haikus. Drop in the chat as you're working if you'd like to share some of the things you're thinking this evening. Good job, everyone. Thank you for taking time to sit with your thoughts and really being very focused on how you're going to make those thoughts turn into this beautiful haiku. When we stop to do that, we're very thoughtful and very purposeful in our writing. And some of you shared some fun things about your cat and snuggling, and others of you shared that there are some significant events happening in your life or in the lives of people that you care deeply about, and you were pouring those thoughts into this haiku. And again, when we stop and are very intentional with our writing, it can be very cathartic. So thank you. They're just so lovely. It's one of those, right? You're a poet and didn't know it. So thank you for sharing that time with me as we kick off our gathering with each other this evening. So go ahead and turn to page 15. And yes, Allie, sometimes it can be tough. Sometimes you literally do get that writer's block. So you can let that kind of hang out. If you didn't get to it, it's okay. Someone shared that it's been a little bit of a hard day and they were just hanging with us and doing some breathing and gathering and listening to the music. And I am a huge believer in taking what you need. And so if you just need to be with us tonight, we're glad you're here, and you can just listen to the music and take a break. So on page 15, it is titled Your Ideal Day. So I'll read the prompt, and then I do have some tips for you as we do lean into the writing of what our ideal day looks like, what passions come up through an ideal day. So let's read the prompt, and then I'll share those tips, and then I'm going to give you some time to work on your ideal day. So the prompt is, if you were to imagine your ideal day that was worry and stress-free, what would it look like? What would you see, smell, hear, taste? Who would you be with? And where would you be? And write this in the present tense. So let me give you some things to think about as you're framing out and claiming that ideal day. You might want to consider what season it is, or perhaps it's during a holiday that you're embracing that special day. For me, I love spring, and I love that would be an ideal time for me to kind of lean into an ideal day when everything is fresh and the promise of what's to come. Think about, are you in a favorite place? Is there somewhere that you like to go to escape? Or are you on your front porch swing? Or are you cuddled up in your cozy bed? Or maybe just soaking in your bubble bath? Who is with you? And think about how important that person or persons are to you, and why. Why are they part of that ideal day? What activities are you engaging in? What are you doing? Those passions that make you lose complete track of time. You just don't even know what time it is because you're so lost in a wonderful book or sewing or painting or digging in the dirt or fishing or driving down your favorite roads. Ask yourself, does this ideal day align with your core values? Those things that truly do drive you as a person. How does this ideal day align with the things that you value most in your life? And then as you tap into those senses, think about what you smell. That's going to probably be dictated by where you are. What foods and drinks are you enjoying? And then what sounds are you hearing? Or is it silence? Is the house vacated and you have it all to yourself and you're enjoying absolute solitude? Do you hear nature? Do you hear crowds because you're somewhere buzzing with electricity? Maybe you're at a concert, laughter, gathering around a table. What are you enjoying looking at? What is the view? What is the vista? What are you wearing? Think about those favorite clothes that make you feel your best self. That's comfortable, and you look in the mirror, you're like, I look good in that. Is it sunrise, sunset? What time of day is it? Are you going to experience both? What are you saying yes to? And another way to frame this out is you can approach this prompt with drawings if you would like to take an artist's approach. And then one more suggestion. I started working on this and I wanted to share. It's not quite finished, but I kind of made a timeline of my day, and I'm going to plug in sort of those appointments with myself. And as you can see, the first thing is I'm going to savor my cup of coffee and journal. I'm going to put makeup on. I don't always like to put makeup on, but I feel so good when I do. Go for a walk. I'm going to go sit in the library for a little while. So this is another way that you could frame out your ideal day if you don't want to do a full writing response to this prompt. So I'm going to put on some music and I'll go back and forth between those slides so that you can take a look at that. Let us know kind of what you're thinking and how you're going to frame out your ideal day. I'm just going to do a quick check-in as you guys are digging into this, and I love that some of you guys are discovering like, oh, some of these days I have like Jen S shared that it's like a typical summer Saturday, right? When it's just a different pace of life. And of course, a call out to health is so important to that ideal day that you are feeling vital and healthy. And so those of you who are in a recovery mode from all the things that are out there going on right now, I wish you wellness so that you can really imagine an ideal day. Ashley had shared that her ideal day is a slow day, right? Those busy days just kind of eat up the joy, but when you can slow down and take time to notice and just have that presence of leaning into the things that make you happy. Lots of, I've seen lots of cozy, I'm seeing lots of nature. Nona Nat's gonna look in the Grand Canyon at the massive stars in the sky and see the stars in that massive sky. So you guys are really embracing those beautiful things. So thank you for sharing. I'm going to play a little bit more music as you kind of get these last thoughts down on paper, and I'll check back in just a minute.
The sun woke me again today, and now it's shining all the way. And oh, I breathe and take it in. And where I go, I can't help but smile. I wanna dance and
Okay, if you didn't get your ideal day finished up, that's okay. You've got the whole month to do it. This doesn't have to go away. I am going to challenge you with these beautiful things that you wrote to maybe circle one or two things that you can be very intentional about to incorporate at some point this month with the remaining days we have left. You might not be able to take a whole day, but you could take a part of that day and take care of yourself and do the thing that feeds your soul, that brings that passion about. Maybe you can't get a weekend away at a lake, but you could drive to a park that has a pond and sit by the water and just kind of embrace those feelings that you are seeking in that ideal day. And it might not be an ideal day, but it could be an ideal hour, and feed your soul with that. You guys have written some beautiful things, which is going to be great as we continue our time together this evening as we write together. So let's turn to page 17, which is the poem in this month's journal. And if you would allow, I'd like to just read this together and kind of get our minds flowing as we are going to embrace writing our acrostic poem. So, passion is simple. Passion is tipsy talks with your best friend on a Saturday night. Passion is sleepy Sunday mornings, waking up beside someone you care about. Passion is spelling your name in the air with sparklers on New Year's. Passion is a pancake breakfast on Christmas morning. Passion is stargazing in the countryside. Passion is not really knowing much about constellations, but always being able to find the Big Dipper no matter where in the world you are. Passion is laughs that make you cry. Passion is crying all night until you have no more tears left. Passion is waking up at 6 a.m. to watch the sun rise. Passion is napping in the afternoon sunlight. Passion is watching a thunderstorm on your front porch. Passion is the smell after it rains. Passion is not knowing where you want to go, but knowing you are going somewhere. Passion is simple. And I think we could all agree from what we saw from one another in the chat that Passion is different for each of us, and can be found in the smallest of things. So let's take a look at our bonus activity, that acrostic poem. You'll need to open to a notes page or grab an empty page. And we've had acrostic poems in our journals as prompts before. And it's as simple as, just writing the word like you see on the screen and then answering to each letter. But I also, oh, Kimberly K, I'm so sorry. she's had a dog barf. So sending you thoughts. Passionate about clean carpets. And so you can definitely just write the word passion out and take the first letter that you see for each line and carry on. I want to share some ideas for you to frame this out, though, because there are some other ways we can do this acrostic poem. So some tips, and then I have some examples to share with you, is of course, each line, you can write just from personal experience, and you may look at your ideal day and actually take some of those thoughts and make a poem using those. And each line would include a memory of an important event or topic that is a focus word of the poem, or something that you're going to embrace. You can do an adjective acrostic, which is just what it sounds. Each line is comprised of adjectives, beginning with that letter to describe something specific, to describe that passion. I have an example to share with you. A verb acrostic poem is when each line is composed of verbs, those action words that can be done in a specific season or holiday or place. Again, go take a look at that ideal day. An alliteration acrostic poem is each word in the line starts with the starting letter of that of each line. So it would be, P would be all the words starting with P. You can connect, as you're working through this, you can connect all those lines with those conjunctions and subordinating conjunctions. So using words like and, but, after, although, before, because, while, though, where, and that connects each, several lines together to make a beautiful flowing sentence. There is a double acrostic poem, and that means the first letter and the last letter of each line will spell out passion. And this one can be challenging. I've got an example to show you. It took me a minute. Well, a good minute, many minutes to figure out how to make that one work. And then there's a mesostatic let's see, let me try to remember. Mesostatic, I think I misspelled it. It's a mesostatic poem, and it's when passion is formed down the middle of the poem. So think crossword puzzle. So I have some examples. So this is the double acrostic, and that means that the first letter and the last letter of each line they'll spell out passion. So I leaned into something I'm passionate about, which is my garden, and that brings me passion. Plants bloom in my garden with a pop. As soon as the buds are formed, I think, aha, see the magic? Mother Nature suggests smallness in our lives. I realize I am part of her alumni, only doing my small part to nurture her garden. So that's a double acrostic where passion is on both ends. This is an adjective acrostic, and as you can see, I looked up adjectives, alphabetical adjectives, and I think Malika is going to drop a link in the chat where you can go and look up a ton of adjectives if you want to just lean into just these beautiful descriptive words for your poem using an adjective acrostic. And then this is that one, you can see passions right down the middle, and I've expanded on both sides of it. So again, I leaned into the passion of my garden. Every spring, the bed is readied. The soil accepts the tiniest of seeds, planted with hopes and dreams of growth and reminders that seasons come and go, and I am given enough. So another way to just kind of frame that out. So there is several examples that I am going to, yeah, Amber, there it is. I'm going to go back and forth between these slides. I'm going to play some music while you start. Oh, thank you, Sherry. I'm a terrible mathematician. So, words are my thing. If you're not, and this could be really challenging, if you're a math science kind of person and that's how your brain works, this could truly be tricky. But what I'm going to encourage you to do is think about that ideal day and the feelings that evoked, or consider something else that you're terribly passionate about: your children, your garden, a hobby that you do, your work, whatever brings you passion, and frame out your poem in a way that speaks to you. So let me put on some music. I'm going to go back and forth between these slides. I'll check back in. I'll share some things from the chat, and we'll just kind of lean into this together. And if you have a little case of writer's block, then the reason you're here tonight is to sit with some good deep breathing and listening to music and just giving yourself that time of nurturing. All right, so let's get going. right, I'm just checking in. Some of you guys have shared some of the things that you're writing. They're beautiful. There's no right or wrong here. If you have writer's block, that's okay. Just sit with it for a while. No one's gonna grade this. I told Nona and Nat, I think we accidentally ended up with a language arts class tonight. But if you wanted to, you could turn to page 17 and look at the poem that's in our journal and maybe complete some more passion is sentences that embrace those things that you came up with for your ideal day or the things that are bringing you passion. So I'll play a little bit more music as we kind of round this up tonight. And again, you might want to write another poem or two, or just turn to your coloring page and lean into that as you sit with the passion prompts this evening. I think you should all give yourself a big O squeeze. You've done a beautiful job tonight of leaning into your inner poet, using your brain. That poetry is really, really good for us because it helps us spark creative thinking. It helps us be intentional with what is going on to our page. Helps us take that time to think and settle in, express our connection to one another and to the paper. It's very therapeutic. I'm so glad that you guys joined us this evening, and I hope, if you are comfortable, that you will share your ideal day or your poems, your poetry, your haikus on Sonder Club. I would love to see the pages that you've worked on. And our time together it has come to an end. It's been a beautiful way I've enjoyed just sitting here. I've been with my mother doing doctor's appointments, and I drove back home this afternoon. And so I've been a little frantic, and it's so nice to sit with you all and read the beautiful things that you are writing. You're very inspiring, and I just enjoyed hanging with you. And Malika and I are so proud of you for taking this time this evening to take care of yourself. There is our refer a friend code right there on that QR code if you'd like to refer a friend to this magic that we know as Silk and Sonder. I have dropped my playlist there in the chat if you would. I'd like to listen to the music again, or maybe continue working on your poem. And that's the playlist. Thank you for being with us, Sonder family. And again, I'm proud of you for taking this time to lean in to find your inner poet. Make it a good rest of the month, and continue to explore how passion plays into your day to day.
Sun's up, it's a little after 12. Make breakfast for myself, leave the work for someone else. People say